right up to his neck, the water. The Socrates hold him down into the water until he couldn't breathe no more. And then he let him come out. He came out and said, Socrates, I was here to gain the knowledge and you punishing me? And he said, how bad you want the knowledge? He said, I want all of your knowledge. And he dipped it again. And he said, what do you want the most right now? He said, I want air, my life. And he said, if your desire to gain the knowledge is that deep as you want your air and life, you're going to gain the knowledge. And today, you are all of our Socrates. You guys are all going to teach us, give us the knowledge about social media. There are a couple of things I wanted to explain. First of all, it's a friendly debate. No arm wrestling allowed. It's a debate where you're going to use the words that is appropriate, that you're going to argue, which make more friendly debate. And you want to make sure that there's no derogatory remarks or anything personal. It's all about social media and how it impacted. Use your examples, use your stories, use your facts and figures as appropriate. For this debate, we have 3 judges, and those judges are being appointed by the Council of NLIC. We have voted. So we have Brother Imranullah, one of the judges, and we have Professor Dr. Sheikh Shirazi, and we have Dr. Naz Nair. So they will be judging you on the following criteria, and I want you to really pay attention to this. So I made 4 of the things. Sorry, I don't know how to speak today. So a couple of things that where the judges will look for your comments and arguments based on your organization and clarity, use of arguments, and use of examples and facts and figures. If you're using a rebuttal, what kind of a rebuttal you're using, and more importantly, your presentation style. The words, facts and figures matter, but how persuasive you are in your presentation will also be judged. Again, there are 5 topics which we have discussed and I shared with the group, and I believe all the parents received that email which it shows 5 topics. Number 1 is learning. How did we learn? How are we learning from social media? What are the pros and what are the cons of that? And then on same token, awareness. Topic number 2, awareness. Topic number 3 is relationship. Topic number 4 is communication. And number 5 is work or business related or making money out of social media. So those are the 5 topics. Judges will score you, use the 5 criteria we have identified, and we work with that. We will open the topic with learning, for example. The first speaker will get 2 minutes, and we have Brother Tahir Chaudhary Sahab. He's our timer. He's official timer. So the first speaker will get 2 minutes to speak. So when your 1 minute will lapse, you will see the green light. Everyone will see it, and then yellow will show up at 1 minute and 30 seconds, and at 2 minutes it will be the red light. Along with that, brother will show the red card so everybody can see the time is up, like this. So at that time, I will request you to stop talking or conclude that within 10 seconds or so. Good? So far, so good? All right. What else? Any questions so far? Any questions?
You forgot to say entertainment as a category.
And communication and relationships for one.
Yeah.
Actually, you're right. So you're right. We actually set it out, the agenda, but no one has asked about it. So you're right, we worked with that. So there are two teams right now. We have, the team against social media, and we have teams for looking for social media. Now let's start from there. So what we're going to do is that Brother Naved will be chair of this meeting. So once that all the 5 topics concluded and their marks and scoring will be done by the judges, Brother Naved will collect all the ballots from them, and then they will combine it all together, and at that point we will announce the winning team or all the teams. The trophy is right there, and that debate trophy will go with the people with the most arguments for that. And it is a rotating trophy. Any questions on the timing? The time watch will be there, my brother. So from here, yes.
What if you get if you have 2 minutes, you go a little bit over time, a little bit under time?
So if you are over time, we will ask you to, once you see the red light, you have to stop, and you will understand that my time is up, so you have to stop. Good question. One of the other questions that most of you ask, for example, I want all of the kids to participate. I want everybody to have a chance to speak, to say their words. If you start your conversation and you forgot what you were to say, you can ask one of your teammates to jump in for help or any conclude. So you don't want to lose your time or turn to really argue that point. Yes?
What if it goes a little under time?
It's under time, it's fine. We will move on to that opponent. So there will be the first speaker, and then we go to the opponent speaker. And then from there, there'll be 2 more speakers. We'll have 1 more minute on each team. So basically, you have 4 minutes for each topic, and you have 4 minutes for each topic to discuss. So we'll conclude that one topic in about 10 minutes and 50 minutes with all 5. Wonderful. We will introduce, that's number 1 is that we wanted to say out your name and your grade so everybody know who is competing. The people only competing can call out their name and their grade so everybody will aware of who's speaking. I'm going to give the mic to them. So,
Amr Sahib, grade 8.
Roshan Amar, grade 7.
Saram Khan, grade 6.
Salar Sheikh, grade 9.
Iman Tanveer, grade 9.
Hamza Nadeem, grade 7.
you're not competing. Who is competing? You are.
Ali Qureshi, grade 9. Rayan Khan, grade 7.
Saf Qureshi, grade 8.
Okay, that's a forced entry.
Mohib Uzair, grade 4.
Yusuf Tanveer, grade 7.
Okay.
Sanya Zara, grade 11.
Zoha Rizwan, grade 6. Amani Sahib, grade 10. Iman Rizwan, grade 9. Nishfa Rizwan, grade 12.
Okay, so we have a contestant here. So let's start. Learning is one of the aspects that most of us have seen. There are almost 45% of the worldwide universities have online courses available. That means that it's a huge market, huge part of the world has been facilitating with this learning aspect of it. But then on the other part of it, there are some of the uncensored teachers who proclaim teachers that they think they know everything. So I'm going to start with that. On learning aspect of it, let's start the debate and see who has the first argument.
Next time.
4? Okay, go ahead. Do you need mic or you can speak louder?
I can speak.
Okay? Make sure everybody can understand. Okay, let's give the mic. I think that's important.
I'm good without.
Okay, time starts now.
Okay. So for social media team, we decided that education and knowledge was a big factor in why social media is important. This is mainly because social media provides a quick, instant news outlet. As you guys may know, on Facebook and Instagram, you have a ton of news articles that come your way. So an example we found that a lot of youth apply themselves to is an Instagram account called 6Buzz. It's for like the Greater Toronto area. They have almost 1 million followers of people from Toronto, Greater area, even all the way into London. And they post, like for example, they post Amber Alerts right away. They post news in like Southern Ontario right away, which what we think is really important. And also education is like, there's a lot of involvement with students through social media. You can find out about due dates for assignments, do a collaboration with other students through group chats, etc. And then again, online collaboration, which is really important. When you're in a group, you're not like taking up the weight for the whole team by yourself. It's everyone together. There's also a lot of news articles. For example, Now This News on Instagram. It's an account that posts quick videos of news, worldwide issues, economic issues, social issues happening in the world. And we think this is really important because there's increased teen awareness in the news. News isn't seen as an adult thing. It's seen as something that teens should learn about, participate in. For example, the Doug Ford education cuts happening right now. There's a bunch of Instagram accounts for schools that people in high school are creating, and usually the news isn't seen as something that teens participate in, but when the stigma is gone through the use of social media, it becomes something that is important, and yeah, it gives youth the chance to stay up to date with the news.
10 seconds.
Now we'll pass on to the this way. Who would like to go against from the team?
Okay, wait, give me one. Yeah.
Time starts. No.
Okay. So, as you said, that social media is a brilliant tool in finding out communication, right? You can communicate with people about due dates and all that stuff. But the basis of learning is be able to listen to the teacher, because they will teach you, like that's the whole point we have teachers. They're supposed to teach you what you need to know to become a contributing member of society. However, social media can serve as a distraction within the classroom. And if you are unable to learn, then the whole point of school is pretty much useless. Studies show that getting a like on social media creates a link in your brain that creates dopamine. And dopamine is the chemical that makes you feel good. So if you feel good, it can create an addiction. So even when you're in the middle of class, even in the middle of a test, a student, this is a real story, a student in the middle of an exam took out their phone just to check their social media instead of cheating. It's become such a widespread addiction that Doug Ford thinks that he needs to ban them in order to make a safer learning environment for everyone. Social media can also serve as an inspirement. For example, in the Christchurch shooting that happened just a couple weeks ago, the shooter had names of a bunch of white supremacists, and this were all shared, and he live streamed his video over social media. Now this can inspire other kids to follow in the acts. He was inspired by other white supremacists, and this can create a sense of unsafeness in schools. When people feel unsafe at schools, they cannot perform to the highest ability. And it's also shown that when you're studying, if you even look at your phone after 10 minutes of studying for even just a couple seconds, all the 10 minutes of knowledge gets disappeared. You can't retain that knowledge because your brain cannot multitask on all these things without at least reading something hundreds of times over.
Now for rebuttal, we have 1 minute for that. I'm going to go back to the pro for that.
1 minute?
1 minute. Your time starts now.
Talking about how the things that teachers should learn on social media and how teachers
The time starts.
Okay.
Has started.
So to argue against that, distraction can come from anything, not just social media, and it's your responsibility on how you're using it. If you are always using social media, that's on you. You have to be able to have self-control, and you can't blame your addiction on social media, just like how smoking, you start that and then you become addicted to it. It's not the cigarette that's addicting you, you are addicted to the cigarette. And for the New Zealand crisis that happened, Facebook and Instagram actually banned any support of white nationalism, and anyone who even searched up a keyword related to that topic is completely banned off of Facebook and Instagram.
And then we come back to the con about we make sure we are on the education topic.
Okay, your time starts now.
Okay, so we all know like the biggest part of social media is cyberbullying, and it's a huge thing between teens. Where teens, if you get cyberbullied, they gain anxiety and depression and unfortunately suicidal thoughts as well, and that can distract you from schoolwork because you're sitting in class and you're getting all these comments on a post saying like bad things about you. You just get distracted from your schoolwork and your education. You can't think straight because you're getting all these comments like bullying you and cyberbullying you. So I think education wise, social media is like, I'm against it because like you're getting cyberbullied. Like what are you going to pay attention to? Like the kids that are like bullying you, or like your schoolwork, and your grades are going to start dropping, and anxiety and depression is just going to take over your mind, over your education. So yeah.
You have 1 more minute.
Yeah, so as you said,
1 more minute, yes.
want to speak? Okay. As you can say that someone who chooses to start smoking and they are therefore responsible for their addiction. However, both smoking and alcohol and all of the drugs are restricted by the law. Now, why are they restricted by the law? Because they are seen as a dangerous substance. They are seen as something that can take over your brain. It can make you do things that no one else could do, that you wouldn't do in a rational thought. So, when you choose to start something, yes, you choose to start it, but you can't choose to stop it. It's extremely hard to do it, and it shows that most people, even when they check into rehab, more than 80% will then become another addict right away, as soon as they get out of rehab. So if we understand that smoking can lead to addiction, we ban it. We build policies on where you can't smoke to save other people. Why don't we have the same things on social media? As you can see, Facebook doesn't let you make a Facebook account unless you're older than 13 years old. But as 13, you're still a kid. How do you know what is right and what is wrong? You can't see the future consequences of your actions. And they have no way to check how old you are. They just make an assumption. So that's why I think social media should be banned.
We have 1 more minute for this team. And
in regards to Okay, so first in regards to cyberbullying, social media causes cyberbullying, which can lead to insecurities or self-harm. There are Canadian laws against cyberbullying. Online criminal harassment can lead to 5 to 10 years in prison. Identity fraud can lead to 6 months in prison or a $5,000 fine, and serious defamation is a $100,000 fine. In regards to cyberbullying, these platforms know that there are teenagers using their apps, so they have things put in place to help protect them against cyberbullying. You could report someone and they will face the consequences for their actions, and you can block them, and your entire existence from the app is erased and they can no longer contact you. In fact, getting cyberbullied is actually better than getting bullied in real life because you have proof. You can screenshot the text, you can share it to your school and administration, and you can get the bully caught. In terms of addiction, you can be addicted to anything. Your point was that why don't they then monitor social media the same way that they do alcohol and drugs? People can get it addicted. Oh,
thank you very much. I believe we discussed the part on the education, how it impacted. There are views from the learning aspect of it, and then there's views that this might be a distraction. Judges are using their numbers, but I wanted to give 2 more minutes. If any of you had to say something about from the learning aspect of social media, I wanted to have your opinion for 1 minute. If any of them, please raise your hand and I can bring the mic to you. I know the debate is only for the kids, but if you want to say something, I can provide that mic to you. Anyone? Okay, I don't see any hand, so I'll pass on. So next, our topic is awareness. Awareness definitely has brought a new meaning using the social media, smartphones, and internet. That awareness, the news travel from one part of the globe to the other part of the globe instantaneously has a lot of pros and cons. One of the speaker identified one of the topic here where it was most recently about New Zealand. Again, it's both had pros and cons in it. The social media was a huge impact of making that awareness for doing something wrong, and then debating or getting that support for those victims using the social media made it more possible. So now we are moving on to the awareness. So make sure your comments and blogs or everything is concentrated on the topic. So we were going to talk how social media has impacted your awareness. So I'm going to start from against, if any of you want to speak. Yeah, so the first speaker will get 2 minutes. From against, who would like to start? Okay, here you go. Okay, let's take it.
No, you can go. I'll go for the one.
Wait, so it's awareness, right?
Awareness.
Okay, wait, give me a moment.
And your time starts now.
Okay, so in this day and age, and everyone's being connected through social media, a major concern is fake news. How do we know what we're reading online is the truth? People can make anything up, and we have no way to fact check this without doing the research ourselves. For example, recently there's been a spread of a challenge called the Momo Challenge, in which it will do with suicide. However, it is proven that this Momo Challenge didn't exist and it was just a hoax to garner attention. Now, awareness is a major thing because everyone should be aware of the different issues in the world, and it makes them become more globally minded. However, it can also lead to radical thinking. When people see something, they have no idea it's truth, as I said before. And this can inspire radicalism within people, which is a major problem. It can give a negative view of images of a whole race or religion. For example, Islam is widely regarded as a terrible religion by the general populace, especially in the American countries, because of the negative press that we get. Now, people can make up any attack that happened in any country, and very little people can fact check this. And this leads to a lot of people having a negative view of our community, despite this not even bearing any resemblance to what we actually are as Muslims. The same thing, this can demoralize people and make them feel like they have to fit into what they're portrayed as. If they say that if everyone in the world sees me as the villain, maybe I should become the villain to fit those things. This is just going to lead to a vicious cycle that cannot be broken unless we be able to crack down on fake news and social media as a whole.
You have 30 more seconds.
I have 30 more seconds. Anyone else say anything?
You're first.
Only 30 seconds.
Okay, so as he said, it can cause you not to get close to your siblings and your parents to know how you feel. So when it comes to social media, so it's just you, your friends, and the phone. So you're connecting with random people in your phone, and your parents will sort of they will want to know how you feel, but they won't know because they don't really know what you're doing. So.
And now for awareness, we are going for social media to the top.
2 minutes. You got 2 minutes? Start now. Time starts?
Yeah. Okay, so bringing up the Momo situation first, even though it was a hoax, it still gave the opportunity for parents to talk about their kids, to get them to know what it is, and even though it was fake, their kids were still aware and knew that they shouldn't even search up what Momo was. And speaking of Islam being put in a bad way, recently there was a New Zealand peace rally happening here in London, and it was advertised on Facebook. And my family and I actually went to it, and there were not only a lot of Muslims coming together to pray for the victims, but there were a lot of white people as well who came to support us. And also charity. There's so many social media accounts that do fundraisers. And bringing up New Zealand again, I went and researched and found so many accounts, not only on Instagram, but Facebook and Twitter as well, which were they linked to a donation site where you could donate, you could help the victims, you could learn about what happened. And there's also other organizations on social media where you can help save lives of other issues. And the New Zealand police account, they advertised a link where you could go and report any suspicious things you saw, or you could even donate there. And speaking of Facebook and Instagram banning white nationalism, the CNN article also posted about it, showing that all the articles that were on Instagram were in fact real. And any verified account on Instagram that posts fake news will be taken down right away, and there's legal action, because being a verified account by Instagram, you can't post fake news. How many seconds? 30 seconds?
Okay, 10 seconds. No, let's start the rebuttal for 1 minute. You can start. You can start now for 1 minute.
Well, we just lost
You can add comments as well, but let's move on for rebuttal. Okay.
It will be 1 minute, right? 1 minute.
Okay, so as we were saying on fake news, a lot of people spread false news. In 2016, about 126,000 false news were spread. People who spread fake news need 3 things, which online are make a triangle. They need tools and services, social networks, and motivation so that people actually believe the fake news. The most recent example is about the vaccines, which is incorrect based on scientific evidence. It says that we don't need flu shots for vaccines. This is because there is no regulation to monitor and validate the accuracy of news online, and anyone can post anything whenever they want. I finished.
All right, let's conclude. I don't want to go back to the rebuttal. So make sure you are ready for the rebuttal, whoever is going next, or you are going next, so you can. So you have a rebuttal on the awareness. Okay, here you go. We have a speaker here. You have 1 minute. So you need.
People become more informed about current affairs. Easier to share information and ideas. Beneficial for group study. Helps people with disabilities to interact with each other even while staying indoors. Assists in getting jobs through professional networking. Attracts crowds at a bigger number to attain a certain goal. Removes anxiety and depression. Social media can be used to broadcast information to the citizens during any crisis situation. It helps reduce loneliness of seniors, isolated, and sick people.
Okay. And you have 1 more minute of rebuttal here. Who would like to speak? Yes. State your name.
My name's Hamza.
Go ahead, Hamza. You have 1 minute.
Like he said that you can stay inside of your house and learn about anything that's going out in your house. You might feel safe inside of your house, but you don't. People have access to, like if you're a hacker, you have access to like billions of computers around the whole world. People can hack you if you enter your email and it's like not a secure website. People can just since your email has all of your information, if you put it in, your age, your address, your phone number, where you live, they can harm you in any way that they want. They can say like Momo challenge. It tells you to do something that you don't even know what you're doing. And also, if you're at your family table and you're eating food, but everybody in your family's on the phone and you just don't know what's going around in your neighborhood, all you know is like around the whole world what's going on. But like in your neighborhood, if somebody needs your help, but you...
And we have one last 1 minute rebuttal on the awareness. 4.
Okay, your minutes, the time starts now.
Okay, so you guys are talking about false news. A lot of people spread false news. Emphasis on people. People can spread false news through social media, through newspapers, through all kinds of different things. Social media is simply a platform, and people can either use it for good or bad. In addition, when you spread false news on a platform like social media, the correction comes in a way that is much bigger and stronger than if it was in a nursepaper or by word of mouth. When people realize that something is false, there's outrage from the group that is targeted and feels they're being discriminated against, and then there's an additional surge of support towards them and awareness, and people get to learn more about, for example, Islam after the New Zealand attack. So yeah, social media is simply a platform, and it's up to the people to use it for good or for bad.
Even if the news is fake, it gives the teen who's reading it the motivation to actually do the research about the news and see what's real and what's fake.
Okay, that concludes the topic on awareness, where the topic actually comes out the Momo, which was one of the challenging one, and I'm sure all the parents knows about it. If you don't know about